Hello everyone, guitarist Hristo Vitchev here, and in this new video I wanted to share with you a concept that I use to practice all the material we have presented so far in the 251 Ways to Voice a 251 progression video series. Essentially just want to take a minute and show you how I can use that in a musical context and how I can start using some of those voicings that we have presented so far into really coming up with a practice routine to internalize them and be able to assimilate them a little bit faster into your own playing style. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a scale. In this case, for this example, let's use a Lydian. Or in this case, that's the same key signature as the E major scale. Except we're starting from A, right? So I'm going to take that key signature, 4 sharps. But I'm going to voice A major 7 chords on top of all the notes of the E major scale. In other words, we're harmonizing the E major scale only with A major 7 chords. Or you can think of it as harmonizing the A Lydian with A major 7 chords. So we're going to end up with a lot of A major 7s that might contain a 9, sharp 11 or 13. The idea here is this. It's to take all the voicings that we have learned so far to the 251 progression, or any other voicings that you use. This concept can be used with any possible type of chord shapes that you know. It can be used with drop 2 voicings, drop 3 voicings, close interval voicings, bar chords. Again, whatever your playing style fits within, this is just a concept, right? So I want you to apply it to the way you play. So for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go too much in detail in terms of all the chords and showing. I'm just going to show you some of my favorite voicings that I use, and then you can apply this concept to your own voicings, or if you're interested in the voicings that I use, I'm going to talk about how do I produce them and where you can find more information about them. So let's get started. I'm going to pick a position on the guitar. In this case, I'm going to start in the kind of 5th to 9th fret, as I'm going to play the E major scale or A Lydian here. Playing the scale in the highest 3 strings because I'm going to harmonize with 4 string voicings, 4 note voicings. So when I reach the lowest string, which will be the 3rd string, I still have 4 strings left, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th to play a chord. And so if you're doing 3 note voicings, you might play the scale even up to the 4th string descending. But this is what's going to happen. I'm going to place an A major chord on each one of these notes of the scale, and I'm going to play a scale chordally only with 1 chord. So let me show you what I mean with this. Here's my choice for A major 7 that harmonizes this note. Now this happens to be the note C sharp, which is the 3rd of A. So every time I think playing the scale, and if I hit the 3rd, in my mind, this is a voicing that comes very fast. So if I was playing a melody maybe, or coming from, and you hit that 3rd of the scale, of the A Lydian scale, then I know how to harmonize it right away with the same feeling. Now when I move to the 2nd note, the B, this is a voicing I like to use. And again, all these voicings, some of them have been presented in the 251 Ways to Voice a 251 video series I have on my YouTube channel, and others that we haven't gotten to yet, we will in the future episodes. But if you're interested in these voicings, all of them are available in a book that I wrote a few years ago. It's called Between the Voicings, and it's a very comprehensive guide to all the voicings that I know. It's about 260 pages, so it's definitely a long textbook, and contains thousands and thousands of different voicings inside. And all the ones I'm going to be showing today come out of that book, so if you're interested, you can definitely check it out on my website, hristovitchev.com, and there's information about the book, and you can look into the text and see a few sample pages of the work. But again, all the voicings I'm going to be using today come from Between the Voicings, which is one of my textbooks. So let's continue. So we have the 9th, then when we get to the root, I'm going to use this voicing. So far I have the 3rd, again it's an A major 7, another A major 7, and then here's the root. So I've harmonized the top 3 notes of my A Lydian scale. Now when I move to the next note down the scale, that's going to be the 7th of the chord, the note G sharp. This is the voicing I like to use. So far I have this. Then when I move to the F sharp, which is the 6th of the chord, this is the voicing I like to use. So far again we have the 3rd, the 2nd, the root, the 7th, the 6th. Now when I move to the 5th, this is the voicing I like to use. And then when I get to the sharp 11, this is my favorite choice. So far I have, if I harmonize it with the chords, string, and I'll show you how we're going to practice this. Now when I go to the 3rd string, so we left on the sharp 11 here, which we have this voicing. On the 3rd string, this is the sharp 11. You can overlap it here. I like to voice another voicing for that, because a lot of times if you're playing a melody on the 3rd string, I like to have a sharp 11 as a melody choice here, and I also want to have one option on the 2nd string, so if I'm playing a voicing that goes down to it, this, or if I'm playing a voicing that goes up to it, I can have it in that string set. So again, having more options will definitely make it more fluent and easier when you're playing melodies to be able to harmonize them in the smoothest possible motion. So you can check out multiple options for each string as well if you're interested. And so then we're going to move to the 3rd, which is the note C sharp, and this is my favorite ways to voice the 3rd. And then we're going to move to the 2nd, which is the note B. And this is my favorite way to voice it. That's an A major with the 9th. So if I play the entire scale now again, I'm going to start from this. Here's the 3rd, the 2nd, the root, the 7th, the 6th, the 5th, the sharp 11 on the 2nd string, the sharp 11 on the 3rd string, the 3rd, and the 9th. Now, of course, I'm going to practice going up to 9th, 3, sharp 11 here, sharp 11 on the 2nd string, 5th, 6, 7, root, and then the 9th, and the 3rd. Now, imagine you're using drop 2 voicings. Imagine you don't like stretchy chords, you don't like close interval voicings. The same thing can be done with drop 2s, right? It's the same idea. We're going to place a drop 2 on the 3rd, then a drop 2 on the 2nd, drop 2 on the root, drop 2 on the 7th, drop 2 on the 6th, then drop 2 on the 5th, drop 2 on the sharp 11, drop 2 on the 3rd, and then a drop 2 on the 9th. Same thing going up, this is always drop 2s, 9, 3rd, then sharp 11, 5th, then 6th, 7, root, 9, and so again, if you're using any kind of voicing that you know from your repertoire, try to arrange them in a scale so we actually play the scale chordally. For me, this is like a chordal scale. The reason this is important is that imagine I'm going to go between melodic playing and harmonic playing. If my entire scale, it's mapped out with voicings, and it's exactly the same fingering that I use when I solo. In other words, if I play a major line, and I finish on this note, well, that note to me equals a voicing in my harmonic mindset. So when I'm thinking melodically, I see all this as the degrees of the chord. But if I land on something like the 6, my fingers can already build the chord because they know exactly what chord is associated, or chord shape it's associated with that melodic note. Which makes it very possible to play a melody and harmonize right away. That makes that playing possible. Now, the idea here is when you're doing this, regardless of what voicings you're using or what concepts, make sure you only remember one per melody note. So I don't want to have 10 options for an A major 7 as to how to play the C sharp note, right? No, we do need to know those. I mean, I can play it like this, I can play it like this, I can play it like this, I can play it, right? There's hundreds of options as to how to harmonize each note. And eventually we're going to get to different exercises that will be able to internalize that information and for us to be able to switch those for the textures we are trying to create. But initially it's very important to memorize the scale only with one choice per note. So when I play the scale for me, for this exercise, the only choice for a C sharp soprano note on an A chord is this. The only option for a B note is this. The only option for A is this, and so forth. Because it's exactly the same thinking that you undergo when you play the scale. When I play the scale itself, hopefully I don't change my fingerings. I don't play the C sharp with the fourth finger and then play with the second finger when I go up or down. And so you want to be able to pretty much make your thinking and recall of the information the most efficient possible. And so for now, I think the best thing to do is isolate only one possible movement in the scale equals only one possible chord movement as well. So once you get familiar with the chords that you're going to use and you make your final selections as to which notes are going to harmonize each scale degree, then one of the possibilities I like to incorporate right away into my practice is to try to unify melodic choices with harmonic choices by doing this very simple exercise. I'm going to take the first chord and then melodically, you can hear the soprano note ring. I'm going to lower that a third diatonically and then go up a diatonic step to reach the next chord degree and play the chord. So you have this. So you start to use already the melody. Then the same pattern is going to repeat to the entire scale from here. From the B, I'm going to go diatonically a third down to G sharp and then slide a diatonic step higher to A and play the next chord. So we have this. A diatonic third down is going to go to F sharp and then slide a step higher to the G sharp so I can play the next chord, then diatonic third down to E and then go to the F sharp and then diatonic third down to D sharp, go to the E afterwards, diatonic third down from E to C sharp and then hit the E with the next voicing, diatonic third down from the D sharp to the B and then up to the C sharp and then diatonic third down from C sharp to A and then play the B. So pretty much you have this. If I play it slowly, you start to simulate some of the concepts and finger movements and coordination that's needed if you're playing and transitioning very smoothly between harmony and melody. Again, you can come up with thousands of different patterns where you can play some melodic fragments or you can play triads and you can whatnot, but this is just the idea. Then I want to do the same thing when I go ascending. So I finished on the voicing that harmonizes the B. So now the B is my soprano note, and so from here I'm going to go a third up, diatonic third up, which is D sharp, and then slide diatonic step down to hit the next chord. So, and then from here, diatonic third up is going to get me to E, and then slide down to D sharp to get this chord, diatonic third up to F sharp, and then slide down to E, diatonic third up to from the E to G sharp and slide to the F sharp, diatonic third up to A, diatonic third up to B, slide down to the A, diatonic third up to C sharp, slide down to the B, and then a diatonic third up to D sharp, and finish on this chord. Essentially, if I play the ascending part, will go like this. And again, once you get used to this, you can start creating a lot of different melodies or simply improvising in the scale. So you get the idea. Now, of course, the big here challenge is to do this in every single mode. So I'm just showing you here in one position, but if you really want to be fluent with all these voicings, you have to work them out in every single position of the guitar, in every single mode, maybe in every single scale. So just to illustrate this, maybe we do melodic minor, pentatonics and things like that. So let's pick a dominant chord that can resolve us back to these major chords we were doing. If we think of the A majors we played as one chord, then the 5 of that would be a E7. And now I'm going to, just to create some more spicy textures, I'm going to take a F melodic minor scale, which contains the E7 on its last degree as the fully outered chord, also known as a super Locrian mode. And so I'm going to play F melodic minor over E. And so now I'm going to harmonize the F melodic minor scale, but with E7 chords. And again, here's where all your personal choices come into effect, like whatever voicings you like using, please harmonize the scale that way so it's closer to your own voice. I'm going to show you my favorite choices, and again, I'm not going to go too much in depth here, only because these are just my personal choices and I don't want to influence your voices. If you do end up liking the voicings I play, they're all available in my book Between the Voicings that we spoke earlier. More information on my website or earlier in the video. If you go back, you can find out more as to how you can check out the book and get it. But, so here will be an E7 chord that harmonizes this note, the note D of the melodic minor. This is again F melodic minor in this position. And so to me, D is the 7th of my E7 chord, and so I'm harmonizing it this way. When I go to the C, that's my flat 13. That's the voicing I like to use. When I go to the B flat, which is the flat 5 or sharp 11, that's the voicing I like to use. When I go to the G sharp or A flat, this is the voicing I like to use, a plain dominant 7 flat 9 voicing. When I go to the G, which is the sharp 9 of E, this is the voicing I like to use. When I go to the F, which is the flat 9, this is the voicing I like to use. When I go to the note E, this is the voicing I like to use. I lost my bass note, so I can no longer play. And then when I go to the note D, this is the voicing I like to use. And then when I go finally to the note C, this is a little bit of a stretch, but this is the voicing. Personal choices, but those are the voicings available in my book if you're interested. So once we get all the voicings down, we can practice them in similar fashion as to the major chords. So I can start by playing a voicing, go a third down in the scale melodically, and then go a diatonic step up to play the next chord, then go a third down, and then a diatonic step up, then go a third down, diatonic up, a third down, diatonic up, a third down, diatonic up, and then continue exactly the same pattern. So now I can go all the way over here, and then go to the C, back up to the D, and then here go to the B flat. It's a little bit stretchy, it's a cool sound. So that's the idea, then you can go up and so forth. All the other exercises playing just those textures by combining the way you play the scale but chords. So it's pretty much a harmonized way of playing the scale at all times, and you can go between those two different textures, whether playing single notes or playing the full harmony that you have selected to map out over every single one of those notes in the scale. So another cool idea we can do as an exercise is to come up with a musical progression. Let's take a very short progression of 5-1, E7 to A major. And so I'm going to use all the E7s I created here, going into all the A majors that we extracted from the A Lydian mode. I'm going to take now one E7, so I'm going to start with the very first E7 that we played, and that's going to go into the very first one of the A major 7s we played. So we have this voice hitting E, 2, I'm going to go to the second choice for E7, into the second choice for A major. Exactly the same things we did with the scales. Then we're going to go to the third choice for the E dominant 7, which will be this, into the third choice for A7. Then we're going to go to the next string set, and now we're going to play the E7 like this, which is going to voice into the A major like this. Then I'm going to move to the E7, that's next in the sequence, which is going to voice lead to the A major that had the 6 in the melody. Then I'm going to take this E7, which is going to voice lead into the A major that has the 5th in the melody. Then we're going to switch gears and go to the third string, and this E7 was the next in line, which fits into the sharp 11 on the third string this time, because it makes more sense for the voice leading, for the A major. And then I'm going to take the E7 that went like this, harmonizing the D, and that's going to go into the A major that has the 3rd on top. And then the last chord of the sequence will be the E7 that voices the C, or the flat 13, which is going to voice lead into the A major that has the 9th in the melody. So you can see again, we're unifying both scales and having a tonal progression, and now I can see what are some of the voice leading possibilities. That's another exercise you can do. You can, of course, use the entire progression and then move it throughout the fretboard so you can hit every single position, which means that if I move one set of positions higher, then that F melodic minor now is going to be a different mode higher the neck, and then that A Lydian now is going to become maybe B Mixolydian. Again, same key centers, and so we just want to be able to have the same comfort level all over the fretboard when we are using this. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and hopefully this can be something useful to give you a different, different take on practicing, and some different ideas to put into your own workout. And again, if you're interested in the voicing that I played, they're all available in that book I mentioned, Between the Voicings. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode and covering some other concepts that hopefully